Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit summitcitysports.com.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen, and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but it doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it like gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout, and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to like a normal workout, the burn comes like within the third rep, and then the 30-second break in between, there's no like recovery. I can see the difference and feel the difference. It feels a lot more effective than just doing normal exercises.
Blood flow restriction training is the perfect tool to solve that fundamental problem. But this is something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't see very many places in Indiana at all.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code SummitCity for 15% off. Welcome in, everybody, to the Hutzel Athletic Center for Game 1 of our doubleheader tonight. This will feature the women, your number 25 ranked University of St. Francis Lady Cougars hosting Grace College, the Lady Lancers. I'm going to read from our game day program put together by Sports Information Director Bill Scott. It says there's a log jam for 4th place in the league. Number 25 ranked Lady Cougars rematch with Grace will crack a 3-way tie. Out of the NAIA Top 25 Gauntlet, 25th ranked University of St. Francis tangles with Grace tonight at the Hutzel Athletic Center. USF lost its last 3 games, all to NAIA Top 25 opponents. In Crossroads League, members Marion, Indiana Wesleyan, and Taylor. The Lancers have won 4 consecutive games, including most recently a 79-66 win at Bethel on Saturday, February the 2nd. Grace's 4-game win streak followed a 4-game losing streak. Grace, USF, and number 33 receiving votes, Huntington University, are all tied for 4th place in the Crossroads League. All 3 teams sitting with 8-6 conference records. Brooke Sugg has sparked the recent Grace College surge, scoring 18, 15, 26, and 22 points in the Lancers' last 4 games. Sugg scored 18 points in the first meeting with USF, which ended in a 2-point win for the Lady Cougars. Emma Applegate led USF scoring in the first game on January the 9th. She scored 26 points, and Lauren McBriar added 14. Kara Gurka led USF scoring with 17 points in the loss to Marion. She moved to number 9 on the USF career scoring list with 1,389 points, passing guard Nikki Lewis. Junior Savannah Buck has climbed to number 3 on the USF career assist list with 389, passing Janelle Wilson, who played from 2011 to 2014, who finished with 382. We'll send it down now for the starting lineups, national anthem, and prayer.
First game featuring the University of St. Francis Lady Cougars. This time, the please rise for tonight's prayer and playing the national anthem. Let us pray. Loving Lord, we thank you for all you've given us to get to this day. As athletes, coaches, officials, and fans, keep us all safe today, free from harm and injury. Help us to love and respect each other and ourselves. In the words of St. Francis, enlighten the darkness of our minds and hearts. Give us a right faith, a firm hope, and a perfect charity, so that we may always in all things act according to your holy will. Amen. Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem by the USF Cup Band. That was with tonight's starting lineups. First, we're visiting Grace College High School. At Nevada, Ohio, at Delaware, Ohio, 17, preparing number 20, Veronica Drake. At Delaware, 5-16, from Warsaw, Indiana, number 21, Brooke Sugg. At Delaware, 5-16, from Montpelier, Indiana, number 34, Lauren Patrick. And at 4-11, from Kokomo, Indiana. Now is opening the starting lineup for your Lynn Rivers of St. Francis. Now for the top-line sophomore from Greenwood, Indiana, number 5, Cindy Crow. At 4, the sophomore from Portsmouth, Indiana, number 10, Lauren Pryor. At guard, 5'6", junior from Fort Wayne, number 20, Samantha Bach. At 4, the 5'6", junior from Fishers, Indiana, number 21, Kara Garcia. And Sarah, 6'4", sophomore from South Bend, number 30, Eva Appleby. And taking the junior, Jason Wood.
So there we have it, folks, the starting lineups for game number 1 of our doubleheader. Coach Chad Lacrosse and the men's basketball team will tip off about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this game, scheduled for 8 o'clock, should be a little bit before 8. What a good game we have in store today. Looking at Grace College, Brooke Sugg last year was All Crossroads League second team. Veronica Drake, number 20, was All Crossroads League honorable mention. Veronica Drake, the cousin, I do believe, of USF All-American Kayla Drake. She was an All-American in 2013. Kayla Drake, probably the best in the program's history at stealing the basketball, and certainly Veronica Drake is very good as well. She ranks number 9 in the country with 70 steals under her belt. In the center there, that's Emma Applegate for St. Francis, along with number 44, Brooke Treadway, as possession goes to Grace to start this game. Handling the rock right now is Lauren Godfrey. Logan Godfrey on the men's team for Grace. One of the top players in the country with double-doubles, scoring and rebounds. That's number 21, Brooke Sugg. Brooke, the senior, really burst on the scene last year for the Lancers as that shot halfway down pops out for Veronica Drake. Out of the corner, that's Sydney Crow for the Lady Cougars. Once again, St. Francis currently on a 3-game losing streak after having taken taking on 3 top 25 teams out of the Crossroads League, Marion, Taylor, and Indiana Wesleyan. And what a season Taylor is having with their senior Kendall Bradbury, who is pretty much in the bag, should be the Crossroads League Player of the Year. 2 seconds off on the clock, and that's Emma Applegate off glass for the first 2 points of the game. Emma once again did lead USF in scoring in that first game against Grace, where she had 26 points. Emma Applegate. Cameron Hosteller is a freshman for Grace, wearing number 13. She takes the pass. Wide open three-pointer is good for Hosteller. Grace takes the lead by 1. Hosteller is out of Archbold, Ohio. Went to Archbold High School. Entering today, just shooting 26% from beyond the arc, but she was wide open on that shot. Gurka being double-teamed right now. Lauren McBriar takes it back deep. Three-pointer for McBriar and knocks it down. That's a good sign for St. Francis as McBriar starting the night off on fire. It's a beautiful shot. McBriar playing some of the best basketball of her career about the last month of the season for St. Francis. Her freshman year, she was in contention for the Crossroads League Player of the Year. Hosteller looking for number 2. Knocks it down. Smooth looking stroke there for the freshman, Cameron Hosteller. A little token pressure in the backcourt here by Grace. Broken by McBriar and the Cougs. That's Savannah Buck. Handles the rock for St. Francis, ranks number 6 in the country. It's a beautiful reverse lay-in and a nice feed for St. Francis. As we regain the lead, 7-6. Savannah Buck ranks number 6 in the country with 139 assists under her belt, averaging 5.4 assists per game. Godfrey's going to bring it up to the top. That's Hosteller looking for another three-point shot. Sugg, number 21. That ball gets kicked out of bounds. Good defense there by Savannah Buck. Buck also enters today with 42 steals under her belt, which is the best for St. Francis. We talked about Veronica Drake and her 70 steals. Brooke Sugg has 51 steals for Grace. That ball stolen by Lauren McBriar. Here in the first quarter, 3 minutes in, St. Francis up by 1. We do have live stats for you for today's game, and St. Francis is a perfect 3 of 3 from the field. Skip pass is stolen by Drake. Near travel as she corrals it. Bounce pass goes to Hosteller. A little strong on the layup. I believe she may have stepped. Foul going to be called on Drake. That'll be her first, team's first. Checking into the game will be Whitney Will for Emma Applegate. A great 3.5 minute start to the game for Emma Applegate. It's Buck over the timeline. Savannah Buck, who did go down late in the first quarter against Marion, so it looked like her knee buckled just a little bit on a fast break. The Cougs are in transition. That's Lauren McBriar. Another triple. So McBriar already 2 3-pointers in this game as St. Francis takes a 4-point lead. Lady Cougars now perfect 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. Thank you, Lauren. Sugg near wing, steps to the side. 3-pointers just left short. So Savannah Buck was down. There's about 30 seconds, I think, remaining in the first quarter when she went down, had to be taken to the athletic training room, and then came out for the second quarter. So true warrior number 20, been starting point guard for St. Francis ever since she stepped foot on campus out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, Homestead High School. And that ball is tipped away by Veronica Drake. Talking about the quick hands, she's probably got the best in the Crossroads League. And falling out of bounds, that's a turnover by number 14, Olivia Pearson. Pearson, a freshman for Grace as well. Wide open Buck, 4-3, no good. Hosteller will grab the board. Savannah Buck entering today's game shooting 31% from beyond the arc, hitting 42 of 136. She has the second most attempts on the team behind Lauren McBriar. It's Whitney Will with the rebound. 5 minutes left to play here in the first quarter. Drake got her hands on another one. McBriar, that's her first miss. Nice tip out by Buck, but it's going to go out of bounds. Checking into the game will be Dejanay Hinton for Cindy Crow. It's number 4, Kiana Stahl, sophomore from Walkerton, Indiana, John Glenn High School. And number 50, Kaylee Warble, sophomore from West Noble High School out of Ligonier. So Central Noble, one of the best teams in the state this year. As the bucket's good by Sugg. That's her first 2 points of the game. Once again, Sugg did lead Grace in scoring the first time out on January 9th. She had 18 points versus the Lady Cougars. Zone defense being played here by the Lady Lancers. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Dejanay is going to fire that three-pointer as they leave her wide open and drains it. Huge three-pointer by Dejanay Hinton. And Hosteller. Little head fake went straight to the cup. Rebounded by Hinton. That's the second one Hosteller's missed down the block. Does have 2 three-pointers made in this game, though. Whitney Will. Ball is knocked away and picked up by Stahl. Stahl's pass, that one stolen by Savannah Buck as she was a little out of control. Dejanay Hinton now on the fast break. Easy deuce for the Lady Cougs, now up 15-8. 5-0 run here for St. Francis. A shot, it's going to be a foul by Will. Heading to the free throw line will be Warble. Warble, a 61% free throw shooter, hitting 38 of 62 on the season for Warble. First one's good. Other action going on today in the Crossroads League. Indiana Wesleyan's at Taylor. That's a big-time matchup right there. It's a 7 p.m. tip, so after this game, you can watch the second half of that one. May not get the whole second half in, but at least about 14 minutes. Second one's good as well to end the 5-0 run for St. Francis. Mount Vernon Naz is at Spring Arbor, Goshen's at Huntington, and Bethel's at Marion. Remember, there is a 3-way tie here for 4th place. St. Francis, Huntington, and Grace. Huntington and St. Francis have nearly identical records, 8-6 in the conference play. St. Francis 16-10 overall. Huntington is 15-10 overall, but the Lady Cougars did beat the Foresters in each of the 2 meetings. Rebounded by Buck. Savannah takes the feedback. It's a 2-3 zone. That pass was deflected. It's Tyon McKenzie, a freshman for St. Francis, into the game. It'll be Hinton with the inbounds pass. Crow out of the corner. Back out to Buck for 3. That one popped out. Offensive board for Will. Her putback's no good. Warble's going to come up with the board. Tyon McKenzie brings a lot of speed to the floor for St. Francis. She's a freshman out of Brownsburg High School, Brownsburg, Indiana. Another steal here for St. Francis. As Hinton's going to leave it up for McKenzie. She's walled off by Veronica Drake. Buck looked at the deep, deep 3 from about 26 out. Hinton looking for number 2, no good. Drake came down with the board but had it swiped away by Savannah Buck. Heads up play by number 20. As Drake came down with it. Buck, another swipe on Drake. That's going to be a loose ball, and is it a foul or a jump ball? I'm going to call it jump ball possession arrow in favor of St. Francis. Marion University ranked number 7 in the country. Taylor at number 8. Indiana Wesleyan ranked number 16. St. Francis at number 25. Once again, Huntington receiving votes, so we got 4 Crossroads League teams ranked in the top 25. Closing in here on the first quarter. Crow gets it over to McBriar back into this game along with Emma Applegate. Applegate played the first 3.5 minutes. Here the elbow jumper is good for Emma Applegate. Looks like Emma might be having a big night here, continuing from her first matchup with Grace out of Winona Lake, Indiana. As the lay-in is good for Stahl out of John Glenn High School. Winona Lake, Indiana, I believe it's the world headquarters, like replacement hips or something along those lines. Hinton on the far wing, looked like she wanted the dribble drive. 14-footer's good as well. Emma Applegate is having herself a day from the field so far. She's a perfect 3 of 3, hitting those mid-range jumpers. Emma can hit the three-pointer as well as Hosteller. That ball is knocked away by Tyon McKenzie. See Tyon so fast. Plainfield, Indiana, Brownsburg High School. Tyon McKenzie. Godfrey's back into the game for Hosteller. Hosteller, who hit 2 quick three-pointers, has been silenced since. Also hit 2 threes and missed 2 bunnies. Godfrey, good ball movement, finding the wide open Stahl. Drake with the offensive board. 20 seconds left. Godfrey, nice pass. As that one's going to be rebounded by Applegate. Applegate up top. Ball fake and dribble drive with the right hand. Too strong. Drake's there. 1 second left. And that won't fall either. Lady Cougars take a 7-point lead into the second quarter. We'll be right back with more Lady Cougar basketball action here from the Hutzel Athletic Center.
First time I've been able to do this kind of more complete understanding or view of your body. One of the things that's really important about this is that it's kind of legitimizing us as athletes.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen, and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way. Offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
Welcome back, everybody. The start of the second quarter here. Handling the rock is Lauren Godfrey, the senior from Montpelier, Indiana, with the Blackford High School. Feed goes down low. Warble, easy bucket. Grace coming out in the press here. McBriar's being guarded by Stahl. Stahl did not get the start, but played some good minutes there in the first quarter as Gurka fights through the contact for her 4th point of the game. Emma Applegate with 6. Her and McBriar share a team high. Hosteller's 6 is a team high for Grace. She hit those 2 triples early in the first. Brooke Sugg, the leading scorer on the team, averaging 17.7 points per game. Saying Lady Cougars were on the baseline there. Sugg ranks number 25 in the country with that average. There comes up with a steal. As I said earlier, she has 51 steals entering today's game, which is second best on the team. only to Drake's 70, which ranks her number 9 in the country. I think Drake already in this game, unofficially, 2 steals. She averages 3 per game. There you see the Lady Cougar cheerleaders. They will be hosting the Crossroads League Invite, not this Friday, but the following on the 15th. The reigning Crossroads League champions. USF has finished in the top 5 in the country the last 3 years, and they've only been competing for 3 years under Coach Jeremy Elder. Drake all alone. The mid-range pops out. Drake was right there as Savannah Buck turned her head. With some serious contact there on the block. Drake's going to head to the free throw line. Foul goes against Crow with the block. Veronica Drake, a 73% free throw shooter, hitting 85 of 116. Once again, out of Marion High School. Congratulations to the Lady Knights of Marion, who just won the Norwell Sectional and will travel to take part in the Columbia City Sectional, along with Angola, who beat hometown Concordia in an upset at Concordia. Concordia had won 3 in a row, sectionals. At least 3, I should say. Drake hits the second. She's got 1 point in this ball game. Applegate, once again, great ball movement. Hard to defend, good ball movement. And St. Francis is as good as they come. Coach Chad Lacrosse and the men's team, always one of the best in the NEI when it comes to rotating the rock. Drake's going to head back to the free throw line as Crow picks up her second foul. Hinton's about to check back in for the Lady Cougs. Drake now 2 of 3 from the charity stripe. Today was signing day for the Cougar football team. Welcome in about 40 new football players. A great signing class here by Coach Kevin Donnelly and the Cougar football team. Back-to-back national champions in 2016 and 17. Hinton splits defenders. Cougars went an undefeated 14-0 during the 2017 season. No collegiate team in Indiana history has ever done that. That includes Notre Dame, as the bucket is good by Emma Applegate. Had a feeling she was going to have a big night, and so far she has with 8 points so far. A team high, game high. Long three-pointer. Brooke Sugg, Veronica Drake have yet to really get hot in this game. McBriar from deep, hitting all alone, looking for number 2 as it rims in. Around the rim and down for Dejanay Hinton. That's a big 3 right there for the Cougs, extending that lead to 9 points. Lady Cougars were not ranked number 18 in the last poll, now ranked number 25 after the back-to-back losses to 2 very, very tough teams in Indiana Wesleyan and Marion University. We got a 30-second timeout going to be taken by Grace College. Head coach Dan Davis, who's in his first season with the squad, talking about ball movement. We'll show you how it's done here on this replay. This is in the first quarter here. Savannah Buck gets it started as Applegate comes up to 15, finds Gurka down low for the reverse lay-in. That is outstanding once again. When it comes to distributing the rock, Savannah Buck's as good as they come. On the top in the NAIA, here top of the key, finds a wide open McBriar who lets it fly for her second straight three-pointer made. For McBriar. Oh, it's a good night here at the Hut. St. Francis with those 10 losses. It's looking like now St. Francis, as long as Lady Cougs can win out, and we're talking about here against Grace, at Goshen, at Bethel, and here against Mount Vernon Naz, Lady Cougars will be favored in all games. That St. Francis should be getting into the national tournament. We'll be heading to Sioux City, Iowa for the Nationals. Savannah Buck, nothing but the bottom of the net for Buck. As the Cougs go up by 10. 29-19 is the score. Sugg trying to get around Hinton. Good help there by McBriar to wall her off. Warbley has it taken away, but they're going to call a foul on number 10 for Lauren, her first, team's third. Carroll High School here in Fort Wayne won a sectional title at DeKalb. They get to play Hamilton Southeastern. That'll be fun, as Hamilton Southeastern is ranked number 1 in the state. The only loss came to a school out of Kentucky. And Homestead High School won a sectional. Homestead's so good this year with the top freshman, one of the top freshmen in the whole country, in Ayanna Patterson. They'll be taking on Zionsville, so some great matchups there at Kokomo. We're hoping, well, it's looking like maybe Homestead and Hamilton Southeastern in the championship if the Lady Spartans can get past Zionsville. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hinton goes back up to Savannah Buck. She's going to drive from 10 feet. Gurka down low. Warble never got turned around, but still enough to deflect. I should say contest, as Warble goes 6'1". Drake, a lot of contact there on the baseline. Hosteller looking for Warble, and there was nobody there. 3 Lady Cougars in between Warble and Hosteller. 29-20 is your score. Lady Cougars taking a 7-point lead into the second quarter for Drake. That's her first bucket from the field. Gets Grace back to within 7. Drake, her first 3 points all came from the free throw line. She's got 5 now. 3-pointer, McBriar. Nothing but nylon. Lauren is feeling it tonight, folks. Going to be a big night for number 10. She's now 3 of 4 from three-point land. Lady Cougars once again coming up with the steal. Hinton in transition. Good ball fake as she goes off glass. And we need a TO, baby, by Coach Davis. Things are spiraling just a bit out of control for the Lady Lancers, currently down by 12. We'll head back to the first quarter. Talked about Dejanay Hinton all year. She's come up huge in games, especially that win at Marion back in December. Here, hitting the triple. Good to see Dejanay hitting the 3 as she enters today at 30% shooter, hitting 8 of 27. And when it's rained, it pours. At least in this situation, Hinton. Splash. Oh, it's been a good day for the Lady Cougars so far, shooting 60% from beyond the arc on 6 of 10 shooting. And I believe Hosteller just dribbled it on the baseline to turn it over as Will provided the defense. Whitney Will here in her sophomore year out of Fort Recovery, Ohio, is having one heck of a defensive season. Fort Recovery, Ohio is her hometown. Skip pass goes to Buck. Tyon McKenzie back into the game. This is the most minutes I've seen Tyon play in all season. Whoa, McBriar. What else can you say? She won't stop. She now has 12 points. Stahl with the miss, but an offensive board for Treadway. Hosteller looking for a seam, can't get past Will. That'll miss. Treadway was there looking for the board. Buck over the timeline. Deep three-pointer by McBriar. That one's just a little bit long. I do believe the hut would have erupted if that would have fallen. Nice job by McKenzie getting a hand on it. The pass intended for Brooks Sugg. Sugg is having a hard time getting going with 2 points in this game. Sugg 1 of 5 from the field, Drake 1 of 3. Sugg is 0 of 3 from three-point land. There's Treadway, gets the deuce to pull her squad to within 13. Staying in this zone defense are the Lady Lancers. They're doing a good job on the block, getting the double teams. St. Francis doing a good job back in defensive transition, causing some havoc here. Both teams have been able to come up with some steals. This has been a high-energy game here at the Hut. Drake's going to have to stop, reverses direction off glass for her second bucket from the field. Pull her squad to within 11. Drake now 2 of 4 from the field. McKenzie, she had some mustard on that pass to Whitney Will. Foul's going to go against number 4, kind of stall. Whitney Will is going to check out of the game as Gurka comes back in. Stalls first, teams first. Three-pointer by McBriar, left short. So Lauren's missed her last 2 three-pointers after hitting her first 4. That one's no good, but an offensive board by Treadway. Drake now for 3. Splash. 8-point lead now for the Lady Cougs. Grace continuing with that token pressure in the backcourt. Hosteller in this game now 2 of 5 from the field after hitting her first 2 three-pointers, as that one's going to be turned over by Gurka and the Lady Cougs. That timeout going to be taken by Coach Jason Ridge, and that'll be a 30-second timeout by the Lady Cougar head coach. How about Savannah Buck here? We're going to head to the corner and come back up to Savannah Buck. Can't leave that separation. She's got range. Does Buck from beyond the arc. What a start to this game for Lauren McBriar, as this one just tickles the nylon. Looking good, looking tough are the Lady Cougars. Up 37-29. Drake's going to break that. Tyon McKenzie had the D. Savannah Buck matched up with Drake. It's Lady Cougars in his zone defense. Drake's going to be fouled by Hinton. She's going to get back to the free throw line. Hinton, that'll be her first, team's 4th. Veronica Drake very much reminds me of Kayla Drake. Both are outstanding players. Kayla, an All-American once again for St. Francis. Kayla was a Division I player. Played at IPFW before transferring to us. We made it to the national tournament during her senior year in 2013 and lost in the Elite 8 round in a very controversial game. But of course, the next year we went 34-0 and won the national championship. 38. 1 minute to play before the break. 37-30 is your score. Lady Cougars shooting 58% from the field as the lob goes down to Gurka. Drake's going to be called with the foul. She tried to swipe it. Drake, that'll be her second. Kara Gurka entering today, a 73% free throw shooter, hitting 61 of 84. Gurka ranks number 15 in the country, shooting 53% from the field. Kara, third-team All-American a year ago. Second is good as well. Lady Cougars back up to a 9-point lead. Largest lead of the game was at 12, I do believe that was. Drake hands it off. Sugg sitting with 2 points. Stahl back to Sugg, wide open for a three. That one left short. Drake with the offensive board, has it blocked by Gurka. Tip out goes to Hosteller, 30 seconds remaining. 1 second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Looks like Coach Davis wants them to slow it up here for the last shot. Davis went to Auburn University of Montgomery, where he was a 1999 graduate. Taking over for a longtime head coach at Grace. As the foul goes against Laura McBriar, number 10. Shoot, I'm trying to remember Grace's coach from last year. Was with him for a while. Stahl at the free throw line as the first one is good. Entering today is 67% free throw shooter. Blum, Coach Scott Blum. I remembered it before I had to look it up online. Scott was with the program for a while. As long as 14 years, look at that. So that'll do it for the first half. Lady Cougars up 39-31. We'll be right back with you with more basketball action here from the Hutzel Athletic Center.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit summitcitysports.com.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it like gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to like a normal workout, the burn comes like within the third rep, and then the 30-second break in between, there's no like recovery. I can see the difference and feel the difference. It feels a lot more effective than just doing normal exercises.
Blood flow restriction training is the perfect tool to solve that fundamental problem. But this is something that you don't see everywhere, and you don't see very many places in Indiana at all.
Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
My grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code SummitCity for 15% off. Welcome back, everybody, to the Hutzel Athletic Center at the half. It's St. Francis up 39-31 over Grace College. Going over some of the scoring, Brooke Twedway with 2 points. Cameron Hosteller with 6. Veronica Drake with 11. 2 for Brooke Sugg. 3 for Kayana Stahl, 7 points for Kaylee Warble. Warble also with 4 rebounds. Drake had 4 rebounds. They got Drake listed at 1 steal. Not so sure about that one. Sugg with 2, but Grace as a team had 5. For St. Francis, Lauren McBriar, 12 points. That's a game high, 2 rebounds. 4 points for Gurkha, 2 rebounds. 8 points for Applegate, 2 rebounds. 5 points for Savannah Buck. 10 points for Dejanay Hinton. Savannah Buck with 2 steals. McBriar also had 2 steals, and St. Francis as a team had 6 steals. Grace shooting 39% from the field, 33% from beyond the arc, and 67%, 8 of 12 from the free throw line. Drake herself from the free throw line was 4 of 6. St. Francis shooting 57% from the field, 54% from three-point, and a perfect 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Grace led by 1 in the first quarter, in the first minute and a half. St. Francis' largest lead of the game was 15. That was in the second quarter with 4 minutes left to play. There's 4 lead changes so far in this game. Folks, the officials tonight are Colin Snyder, Christina Massa, and Christopher Oakes. We are 5 minutes away from the start of the second half. We're going to take one more break before second half action here from the Hutzel Athletic Center.
Everything that I do can have an impact on somebody else.
You can dream any dream and you can chase any dream, and you can have a chance to succeed at that dream.
We're here just a speck of time.
Given the opportunities to be selfless.
That's what God does with us.
Not forgetting how you got here and who helped you along the way.
What are you doing for others?
Those to whom much has been given, much is expected.
The Chapel Project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
Thank you for supporting Summit City Sports. For the last several years, we've provided the Fort Wayne community and beyond with coverage of a variety of sports, thanks to our title sponsorship from Parkview Sports Medicine. Since we began in 2015, our annual budget has covered the cost of videographers and commentators to over 300 plus games each year. New equipment and maintenance of that equipment, along with increased broadcast rights fees from the IHSAA. This season, we're reaching out to friends, families, and local businesses for additional sponsorships and donations. You can help us grow and get coverage to your favorite team or sport. A Summit City Sports sponsorship or donation will help make that happen. We have the goal of bringing fans live stream games of every SAC game we cover. With the additional funds, we'd invest in mobile internet devices, allowing us to bring our supporters every SAC conference football and boys and girls basketball games live, as well as more coverage for sports like cross country, tennis, golf, swimming, wrestling, track and field, baseball, and softball. For more information on sponsorships or how to donate, visit summitcitysports.com.
Parkview Sports Medicine is an integrated sports medicine team. We're treating injuries when and where they happen and working to prevent them before they do. We believe the best care is coordinated care, helping ensure you get the individualized services you need every step of the way, offering innovative treatment techniques to get you or the athlete you love back in play. Reaching higher, pushing further. Parkview Sports Medicine. Game on.
I chose St. Francis because they made a promise that I would have real-world experience that I could take when I graduated, and they delivered on that promise. For me, the classroom only gets you so far, so they're setting you up with an internship. I had a mentor that they set me up with that was a CEO of a DuPont hospital in Fort Wayne. They offer degrees in accounting, business administration, risk management and insurance, marketing, and finance. You know, they just did a great job of the full circle of not only the education but also the experience.
Blood flow restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it like gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you.
We're back, everybody. The third quarter is about to start. Possession will go with St. Francis here. To start the third, Lady Cougars up by 8 points. Largest lead of the game so far is 15. You look at Grace College, once again coming off a 4-game win streak. They lost 4 in a row, won 2 in a row, lost 3 in a row, won 3 in a row, won 3 in a row, lost 3 in a row. Streaky season so far for the Lady Lancers. Crow. Really shouldn't even call it streaky. It's just kind of how the schedule plays. I mean, you're going to lose a few games in a row when you have Wesleyan, Taylor, and Marion back to back to back with St. Francis. Lob goes down low to Treadway off glass. For Miss Brooke Treadway, that's her 4th point of the game. Scored a deuce in the second quarter. McBriar, 4 of 6 from 3-point land. 4 of 7, excuse me, from 3-point land in the first half. Playing the role of the assassin here for St. Francis. Feed to Gurka as Treadway comes up with the loose ball. 3-pointer now for Sugg. That's her first 3 of the game. Brooke Sugg, super quiet in the first half with 2 points. She was 0 of 4 from beyond the arc. Now 1 of 5. Applegate on the elbow. Buck, who hit a 3-pointer there in the first half. She was 1 of 3 from 3-point. Gurka's 3 off the mark. Drake with the rebound. Buck had 5 points there in the first half to go with her 4 assists. Applegate also had 4 assists for St. Francis. Crossover by Sugg is stolen by Savannah Buck. Buck with 2 steals there in the first half, as that one just a little bit out in front of Sydney Crow. Hinton comes off the bench. Eight minutes left to play here in the third quarter. That 9-point lead's been whittled down to 3, 39-36. Hot start to the second half for Grace. Godfrey with the handoff over to Drake. Cougars playing this zone defense. As Drake, great ball movement, ball handling, I should say. She penetrates the cut. 13 points now for Veronica Drake. Her squad down by 1. Buck breaks the press up to Hinton. Lansing's coming out with a lot of energy here in the third quarter. See if they can sustain it. 7 more minutes. Skip pass goes to McBriar. Elbow jumper for Applegate. That shot was falling for Applegate there in the first quarter. Drake on the other end. Drake has a lot of, it's like her whole family came from Marion to support the junior. Drake once again, all Crossroads League honorable mention. That foul's going to go against Savannah Buck, her first, team's first. A couple Cougar football players, some alums in the house. NAIA Player of the Year, Nick Ferrer. You can see him top of your screen, along with Jordan May. Lady Cougars with the steal. McBriar for 3, just strong. Track down, offensive rebound. Nice find up top by Buck to Hinton. Applegate on the far wing. It's Hinton for 3. That one's strong. Hosteller comes down with the board. Hosteller once again just a freshman for Grace. Looking to split defenders. There's some kind of scoop shot. 3-pointer by Veronica Drake. Knocks it down. As Grace takes the lead, 41-39. McBriar calling for it. She had about a 10-foot cushion down low. Is Emma Applegate. And Applegate will tie this game up at 41. For Emma, her 10th point of the game. Godfrey walled off, top of the key. That's Applegate. Long defender up top. Emma just a sophomore. And it looks like a rolled ankle for Savannah Buck. And the ref's we have an injury timeout. Coach Davis is not happy. He's saying, I'm the only one that can call the timeout. Savannah pops back up, but basically the ref calls the timeout because Buck was laying on the floor with a little bit of a rolled ankle there. Quick first step there by Veronica Drake. We are tied at 41, 5:15 left to play here in the third. Brooke Sugg was not ready for that pass by the ref. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Step back, 3-pointer, Hosteller. No good, but tracking down the loose ball was Stahl. Drake all the way by the timeline. Just got a little cheering section. Girls are getting excited. Drake reverses direction. 15-foot jumper, rims in. Veronica Drake now with 18 points, a game high. That's some little girls in the front row that just love Veronica Drake. Hinton. Finds Will, back to Crow. It's Gurka down on the block. Been a zone defense 2-3 the whole way for Grace. That ball was kicked by Stahl. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Savannah Buck's going to check back into the game. Once again, Lady Cougars at the half, up 39-31. 8 seconds on the shot clock. McBriar trying to get around Sugg, and does there on the hesitation dribble. Sugg's going to be called with the foul. Beautiful move there by McBriar to get the separation she needed. She's going to, that's for Sugg, that'll be her first foul, team's first. Here at St. Francis, Kayla Drake also wore number 20. Crow finds McBriar. Hosteller tried for the swipe from behind. Layup attempt's no good. That's going to be tipped out of bounds by Treadway. Fresh 30 on the shot clock. Checking into the game for Grace, number 24, Lexi Minix. Morgan Davis High School, Groverton, Indiana, the junior at 5'9", so first action of the game. Gurka takes it from 17. Sydney Crow has yet to score in this game. She missed on her only attempt. It was a three-point attempt. McBriar, nice strong take. Lauren now with 14 points. We are back to being tied. In the first half, it was Veronica Drake and Sugg. They did not sit at all as the triple is good for Drake. She's having herself quite the game now with 21 points. We've got a timeout. Well, no timeout. Coach Davis got off the bench there, huddled his team up. What is going on? The press in full effect here by the Lancers. Lob goes into Hinton to break it. Crow out of the corner wide open right now for St. Francis. Calling for it. Sets up, locked and loaded. Heel no good. Tracked down by Will. Good save as she never gave up on the play. Crow. That one was left short. Just skims. That's going to stay with. Is that last touched by Minix? They'll say no. Once again, folks, great game at Taylor today as Indiana Wesleyan, the Lady Wildcats, taking on the Taylor Trojans. I personally think Taylor can make a run at the national championship under Kendall Bradbury. And we got a jump ball going to be called, possession in favor of Grace. Be a fun Crossroads League tournament also coming up. Once again, this is a three-way tie for fourth place, so the top four teams will host first-round Crossroads League games. Lots of contact. Charge going to be called as Stahl just launched herself into the Cougar defender. We're tied. Looking to get tied. It's 46-43. McBriar and Applegate going to check in for Will and Hinton. And we do not have an updated score here from that Taylor game. Taylor usually does a webcast. Applegate, McBriar, back to Buck. McBriar, she's wide open there. Tons of cushion as that's nothing but the bottom of the net. Her fifth triple of the game for Lauren McBriar. Big three-pointer for St. Francis to tie this one up. Hosteller looking for Treadway. Some gas on that pass. That's another turnover by Grace. In this game, they have 10. St. Francis only with 7. Pretty cleanly played game. Both teams been hustling. Gurka's fouled. Bucket's no good, but she will shoot two. I think it's going to go against Treadway, number 44, goes against Drake. That'll be her third. Grace now shooting 47% from the field, and it's St. Francis shooting 45%. First one by Gurkha's no good. Once again, entering today a 73% free throw shooter. Second one for Gurkha is good for Kara, her 7th point of the game. And St. Francis takes back the lead here in the third quarter, 47-46. Last year, Grace came to the Hut and got the victory over St. Francis, and if I remember correctly, that was a tough loss for the Lady Cougs. It was an overtime 74-67 win. Hosteller, after hitting her first 2 3-pointers, has been cold from the field. We're inside 1 minute to play. 30-second difference between the shot and the game. Like 32 seconds. Minutes to stall. Both teams playing zone defense all game long. High arcing 3-pointer by Drake halfway down and pops out. That pass intended for Emma Applegate, knocked away by Stahl. 24.9 seconds remaining. So Drake's going to handle it with the shot clock off. Looks like Grace is going to settle for the last shot here of the third quarter. Drake fade away, baseline is good. So Grace will take the lead at 48-47. We head into the fourth quarter. Watching Lady Cougar basketball here from the Hutzel Athletic Center.
Restriction training is a new treatment technique we're using at Parkview Sports Medicine that helps us stay on the cutting edge. This type of training is not only new to Parkview Sports Medicine, but in physical therapy as a whole. And it's really gaining popularity because it solves one of the fundamental problems that we see in therapy. We have a lot of patients who we can't put a lot of stress through their injured tissue, but we still want them to get stronger and still want them to gain muscle size. Blood flow restriction training uses a specialized piece of equipment, a blood flow restriction cuff that fits around the upper portion of an arm or a leg. Doing that, then it partially restricts, but not totally occludes the blood flow going to the limb.
I thought it was gonna hurt, and it does kind of feel weird, but doesn't hurt or anything. I just didn't really know what to expect. Well, you put it on and then you have to lay down and let it calibrate, and it like gets tighter and tighter and tighter. And then after that, get in your position to do your workout and then press the inflate button and it'll squeeze your leg or your arm.
What the research is telling us about training with blood flow restriction is that the buildup of the lactic acid and the metabolic stress that we're putting on these tissues helps you gain strength and muscle size, similar to that of training at high intensity.
Compared to like a normal workout, the burn comes like within the third rep, and then.
Welcome back to the Hut. Here to start the fourth quarter. The possession arrow will now switch over to Grace College. And they hold the 1-point lead. Applegate down low, just gets ran over by Drake, and that's going to be her fourth foul. Not a good foul there for Veronica Drake. She's got a game-high 23 points. She was electric there in the third quarter. She's on the verge of fouling out of this game as St. Francis takes back the lead. 3-point play by Emma Applegate. As she leaves the floor, Whitney Will come in for Emma. Emma entering today an 87% free throw shooter. It's 9th best in the whole country. Stahl on the near wing to Sugg. Sugg's only got 5 points in this game. She's the team's leading scorer, averaging nearly 18 per game. Warble down low. She's going to head to the free throw line to shoot a pair for Crow. That'll be her third, team's first. Warble's 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 7 points. First one is good. Minnick's going to check into the game for Drake. Smart move there by Coach Davis. He'll try to keep Drake on the bench as long as he can. As we are back to being tied, this game's at 50. Grace has been pestering St. Francis all night long in the backcourt. Lady Cougars, though, having no real issues breaking that press. Skip pass, McGuire double team. Gurka down low. Beautiful shot by Kara Gurka for her 9th point of the game. That'll give St. Francis back the lead at 52-50. This is who's got to pick up the scoring for Grace with Drake on the bench. Not sure how that went in, but the right-handed shot by Brooke Sugg. Nothing but the bottom of the net for her 7th point of the game. And now a steal. Minnick comes up with it, keeps it alive. Warble over to Stahl. Minnick has not played much in this game at all. Coming up with a huge play there for the Lancers, who are tied at 52. And a nice steal from behind by Savannah Buck, as Sugg is just now getting back to her feet. Buck's three-pointer knocks it in. St. Francis takes back the lead with Savannah Buck's 6th point of the game. Got timeout going to be called by Coach Ridge. That's a 30-second timeout. Let's take another look. That's Savannah Buck. Crow looking down low. Drew the defense down to the block. Hostetler, recovery D, not in time as Savannah drains it for the Lady Cougars. St. Francis has a team now shooting 41% from beyond the arc, 9 of 22 shooting. Grace 6 of 15 from beyond the arc, 40%. Grace with 24 rebounds to Lady Cougars 20. Inside 8 minutes to play, and the game's leading scorer, Veronica Drake on the bench. Minnick's left hand, baseline dribble drive was walled off by Gurka. Hostetler was able to get around 2 of the Lady Cougars. Minnick's now the catch and dribble drive, just coughs it up. Crow is there as well as Dejanay Hinton. Fast break, nice drop to Savannah Buck. She's got the last 5 points in this game. Cougars now up by 5. St. Francis taking control of this game, but somehow Hostetler gets it off glass and will head to the free throw line looking for the and one. Hostetler, that's her first 2 points of the game since she hit those first 2 triples to start this game. Hostetler now 3 of 9 from the field shooting. Entering today, she's a 71% free throw shooter, hitting 34 of 48. She's the team's 3rd leading scorer, averaging 8.4 points per game. Knocks it down. That'll pull Grace to within 2. Veronica Drake, this is the first time she's sat in this game. Sugg has yet to sit. So she's going to come out with a lot of energy, and I'm assuming they'll bring her off the bench with about 5 minutes left. Applegate 15, wide open, hitting. Opts not to take the shot. Savannah, left-hand dribble drive, pulls up from 13. Hit now, being walled off by Stahl. 3 seconds on the shot clock, deep three-pointer. Misses wide left. And they're going to call, that is a shot clock violation because it was an air ball attempt. Savannah, though, had to throw that one up as the shot clock was winding down. 57-55. Grace retook the lead entering the fourth quarter. Took the lead in the third quarter. Now Sugg trying to split defenders does. There was another one waiting. And Hosteller with her third three-pointer of the game gives Grace back the lead. It's hitting near wing. Hosteller and Applegate right behind her. Another. That one did miss the rim. Looked like it nipped the front of the rim by Savannah Buck. And Buck's going to be called with the reach-in. That'll be her second, team's third. I can never really remember a time in my 8 years calling Cougar basketball. I don't think Grace has ever made the national tournament on the women's side. I could be wrong. Usually Indiana Wesleyan and St. Francis, and then lately Marion. Obviously they won back-to-back national championships. Not last year, but the 2 years before that they were back-to-back national champs. The Crossroads League have won 4 out of the last 6 national four out of the last 6 national championships. Put back by Stahl. That'll extend the lead to 3 for Stahl. That's her 5th point of the game. How about that? 2013 Indiana Wesleyan won it. And that was the year that St. Francis kind of got hosed at the national tournament in the Elite 8 round, playing, I think it was Northwestern out of Iowa. That was my first experience at the national tournament with the Lady Cougars, and all I had to do was look up in the rafters to figure out what was going on because it was always Iowa teams winning it down there. Wesleyan ended up winning it that year. I think they beat Davenport. Then St. Francis won it the year after that, and then back-to-backs for Marion. Good rebound by Gurka. Buck's going to be picked up. Will, once again, been zoned all the way throughout this game. Hitting, left all alone. Looking for a third three-pointer, no good. Nice offensive board. Now McBriar all alone for 3. Just left short. Offensive rebound by Savannah Buck. And that's going to go against Drake. Veronica Drake just checked in and picks up her 5th foul. Oh no, it goes against 50 Warble. I thought he threw up to 20. Once again, Dan Davis, the coach at Grace, assistant coach. Carol McGregor, who used to be an assistant here at St. Francis. Her name was Carol Duncan at the time. I believe that was in Coach Ridge's very first season. Now the assistant coach is Tom Ream and Scott Wessel and Paige Frisch for the Lady Cougars. Also Faith Johnson on the bench helping the Cougs as Whitney Will pulls St. Francis to within 1. That's her first bucket of the game. Lady Cougars shooting 46% from the field, 49% for the Lancers. Sugg, that one was trailing off to the left, rebounded by Will. Brooke Sugg in this game, 3 of 9 from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point land. Brooke Sugg has 7 points. Gurka left all alone on the block. How does that happen? As the Lady Cougars take back the lead, 61-60. She has 11. McBriar with 17, still the team's leading scorer. Hinton still at 10 points. That's what she had at halftime. And jump ball going to be called. Possession arrow in favor of Grace. Treadway checks in for Warble. Treadway a starter in this game. Crow going to check in for McBriar. McBriar currently 6 of 13 from the field and 5 of 11 from beyond the arc. 2 rebounds, 3 assists. She had 2 steals in the first half. Three seconds on the shot clock. Sugg, runner. No good as it's strong. And that's going to be a foul on Brooke Sugg. That'll be her second, team's third. Once again, folks, after this broadcast, we'll shut it down, and then we'll start up the men's broadcast. It's doubleheader night here at the Hut. Pretty much all of the Crossroads League matchups have been doubleheaders, which I just think is a great thing for the league. Great crowd here. Some of these are people that would normally just come for the men's game, and some of these women fans will stick around for the men's game. McBriar for 3, that one looking off heel as Buck tips it right to herself. Savvy Savannah Buck, 3 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Applegate darting, and they're going to call travel on Emma Applegate, just some quick feet. No wonder the Taylor broadcast didn't start yet, because they don't start till 7 p.m. It's 7:20 right now. Let's see if we got a score. They said they're just now going live. Maybe they got a 7:30 start time. Sugg over the timeline. Handoff goes to Hosteller. Gray still has Marion on their schedule. Drake working off a pick by Treadway. Step back 3-pointers, air ball attempt. A stall is right there for the board. Sugg now with 1 second on the shot clock. Back-to-back air balls. Lauren McBriar, Emma Applegate back in for St. Francis. Turnover, traveling called on Sydney Crow. Cougars with 12 turnovers, Grace with 12 turnovers. .2:15, St. Francis up by 1. Drake has not scored since picking up that 4th foul. Sitting with a game-high 23. Throws it up with the right. That's an air ball. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lady Cougars playing great defense here. Stall off glass. Gets it to fall. That's her 7th point. The timeout going to be taken by Grace. A full timeout. We'll be right back with more Lady Cougar action here from the Hutzel Athletic Center.
Grandpa taught me years ago, do business with people you know and who know you. That's why I joined Fort Financial Credit Union. Their staff knows I'm busy at college. They set me up with a checking account, a debit card, and an auto loan. With the Fort's mobile app, I can check balances, transfer money, and make my car payment. My grandparents loved doing business with the Fort, and I do too. My future, my family, my Fort.
The Chapel project is the most important building that has ever been built or ever will be built on this campus. It's in the heart of the campus, it's on Mirror Lake, and the chapel and the Bass Mansion will be able to communicate with each other architecturally.
We are in a battle here at the Hutzel Athletic Center. Both teams sitting with 3 fouls. Remember, once you hit 5, you're in the double bonus. Possession arrow is in favor here with the Lady Cougars. St. Francis now with 4 players in double-digit scoring. Applegate 13, Gurkha with 11, Hinton with 10 and 17 for McBriar. Hosteller has 12 and 23 for Drake. Grace has been putting pressure on the backcourt all game long. Buck double teamed, finds Applegate, and they're going to call 10 seconds. I thought 10 seconds would have been more at 1:38. Seemed like a fast 10 seconds. That's turnover number 13 to match Grace for the Lady Cougars. Hosteller is going to inbound. It's Drake, 140 and counting. Veronica Drake is 3 of 4 from 3-point and 8 of 16 from the field. Honorable mention last year. Like what I've seen in this game, not sure where she's going to end up all cross. Oh, a foul! That could be a 4-point play as Savannah Buck just clipped the leg of Brooke Sugg. That easily happened after the shot. Oh, no. I actually saw a 6-point play. So they're going to say that foul happened after the shot, so it's on the floor, no free throw. Which is even better for Grace because it gets them another possession. In my mind, it's better. Drake's just going to sit on it here. 18 seconds. No, she's not. Will coming out on Drake. Remember, she's got 4 fouls. Lob pass just a little bit too far for Treadway. Hosteller locked and loaded. Sugg with an offensive rebound. And Coach Ridge going to have to call a timeout here from the Hut. That's another full timeout. We'll be right back, folks. This game is getting interesting.
Catholic University must have a passion for truth, and we trust in both the power of faith and the power of reason. Both come from God. May God bless this university as it continues to pursue truth on the wings of faith and reason.
It may be winter, but it's never too early to start thinking about spring. Start your new year sharp and trust Kurt's Mio to power wash your home. Fair prices, superior quality, and exceptional customer service. Schedule your spring special appointment today. Additional services include concrete sealing, deck and fence cleaning, driveway replacement, and stamped concrete. Give your home the curb appeal it deserves. Just head on over to kurtzmio.com, request your virtual quote, and use the code SummitCity for 15% off today. Welcome back to the Hut. St. Francis virtually leading almost all the categories. Assists, St. Francis 19-9. Steals 11-7. Both teams with 13 turnovers and 2 blocks. Grace is out rebounding St. Francis 30-27. With Lady Cougs shooting 47% from the field. Grace at 45. It's just been those offensive rebounds as Will's going to be called with the foul against Stahl. Emma Applegate and McBriar are going to check in. So you see Coach keeping Will out there for the defense. Stahl is currently 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Two-possession game, the 5-point advantage. Just 45 seconds remaining. Now a timeout going to be called by Coach Davis, I believe. A 30-second timeout. Let's take another look at this one right here, as it was a big one. This is Brooke Sugg out of the corner. She shoots 35% from three-point. Shot is good. I don't really know what happened. Let's rewind that for you. Looks like maybe the left foot caught Sugg after she landed. Savannah Buck and the Lady Cougs now. 40 seconds remaining. Down by 6. Good move going into Gurka down low. Treadway holding her ground straight up. But Gurka too good for her 13th point. Now that time it's going to be Kara with the foul on Drake. Gurka now 2 fouls. Team 6. So shooting 2 is going to be Drake. Veronica is 4 of 6 from the free throw line as that one goes in. Back to a 5-point lead. Remember, Drake is a 73% free throw shooter. And now the timeout is going to be called by Coach Ridge. That's a full timeout. Folks, you're listening to the Cougar Marching Pride. And right here are the Cougar cheerleaders, co-ed squad. Once again, finishing in the top 5 the last 3 years. I believe it was 2 years ago. We finished runner-up. Coach Jeremy Elder, who was a cheerleader at Purdue and at Bishop Dwenger here in Fort Wayne, really doing an outstanding job with this squad. Providing the camera work tonight, we had Morgan Carroll. She did the first half. Morgan, a freshman pitcher for the softball team. And Mariah Nicholson, she's out of Newcastle, Indiana. She's a utility player, could play second and third base. So you better watch out for those 2 freshmen as the season started last weekend in Rosemont. 25 seconds remaining. 3-pointer by Buck, left short. Tracked down by Sugg. We're going to have to get a foul. The 6-point. Good job getting that off right before she got fouled. Now it's Drake. Cougars wasting some valuable seconds there as Drake heads back to the charity stripe. Lady Cougar softball team got its season started this past weekend in Rosemont, Illinois. Indoors at the ballpark. First one by Drake is good. Grace now is 70. The Lady Cougars winning 3 of 5 games to start the season. That one rims out. Crow with the board. Buck's going to have to Applegate for 3 out of the corner. Just long. Crow looking for the putback. And that will do it. So here at the Hut, Grace wins it 70-63. Going over the scoring in this game, Lauren McBriar with 17, Hinton with 10, Savannah Buck with 8, Gurka with 13, Applegate with 13, Will with 2 for St. Francis. Stahl had 9 points. Hosteller had 12. Drake had 26. Brooke Sugg with 10. Brooke Treadway with 4. And Kaylee Warble had 9 points for the Lady Lancers, who once again will take it 70-63 for Grace. That's their 5th win in a row. Folks, we're going to shut this broadcast down, and we will have the men's broadcast for you It's going to start in 18 minutes. Thanks for joining us here from the Hutzel Athletic Center, Fort Wayne, Indiana.